Welcome! Continuing our visit to the Hocking Hills State Park area in Ohio, Mrs. Faceless and I ventured to Ash Cave. Allegedly, there's a waterfall here, but despite the recent rains, there was not much of a waterfall at Whispering Cave, which we visited in the last video, so we were not hopeful. But as they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And whilst we were here, we should check it out anyway. If you're planning a trip here, there's a newer and much larger car park across the road from the one shown on Google Maps, which is both good and bad, as obviously more people can park and visit at the same time. After Mrs. Faceless's obligatory investigation of the on-site facilities, we started the relatively short walk along a flat, well-maintained path. It wasn't long before I'd lost Mrs. Faceless, but there's a handy bench up ahead, so I guess I'm stopping there to wait for her. This is a very pretty walk in nature, not strenuous at all, with a few benches dotted around for those that want or need to take it a little easier. It's a very nice day out. Apparently, Mrs. Faceless was loving the winding path, and had stopped to take a photo. She duly obliged by then taking a photo of me walking back towards the cave. And this is where things took a turn for the worse.
We are at Ash Park and the video camera has gone kaput. So what do we do when we have a YouTube channel?
I guess let's take the images and then figure out what we're going to do. And what better way to help the thought process than an all-day breakfast for me and an omelette for Mrs. Faceless in downtown Logan, where we once again had cell phone service and managed to find the solution to fix the gimbal head. Which, if you're wondering, involves using card or leaflets we grabbed from the Tourist Info Centre to put pressure on the gimbal head here and straighten the supporting arm, which had somehow got bent. So the head can then spin once again. Buoyed by this success, we headed for Cedar Falls. The closest car park is here, and is also near a rather cool footbridge leading to some trails. So we wandered across, heard the water, then we saw the signs. Particularly the one pointing back from whence we came. Back to the car then. So this is where we'd stopped. But this is where you need to be for the start of the trail to Cedar Falls. This is one of the shorter trails, about half a mile loop, and 100 foot or so of elevation change. That being said, the start of this loop is part of the larger Buckeye Trail. There are a lot of trails in this park which intersect, so it bears repeating, as I mentioned in the last video, don't rely on cell service out here. Have a paper trail map or offline map. Also, bear in mind that a number of the trails here are one way, so you are somewhat committed, and it also indicates that these trails can get pretty busy. Cedar Falls is actually misnamed. Early settlers mistook the local hemlocks for cedar trees, but this should be the best flowing waterfall in the park, so fingers crossed. The walk to the falls is very pretty and mostly peaceful, but with the sun shining through there are hot spots appearing. Hopefully this won't impact us when we reach our destination. Just before reaching the falls, there's a bridge to cross. Seeing a few people milling around ahead, Mrs. Faceless took this as an opportunity to get set up. It wasn't long before the few visitors ahead of us departed, leaving us all alone at the falls. So first task, wander around and look at the various options for compositions. This is one spot I found interesting, with this particularly gnarly root structure. It should make for a nice foreground, along with the rocks leading in towards the falls. This will be a 2-image focus stack to ensure both near and far elements are sharp. Mrs. Faceless decided to go and stand right at the edge of the water, but that's okay, as I was done and wandering around by now. As nice as that shot was, she wasn't entirely happy, as the hemlock branches were causing a distraction. So she moved back and up, climbing over some rocks and setting the tripod in a crazy position in order to get a cleaner view of the falls between the hemlock branches. Better, but her desire to rock climb was not yet satisfied. So back further she went. At least now she had the option of sitting comfortably. I say comfortably, although standing was technically no longer an option either. With some more visitors arriving, I'd moved round to the side of the falls, where the ripples of the pool were reflecting the sunlight back up onto the rocks. The light was getting quite harsh at this point, so I packed up. Mrs. Faceless, however, persevered for that one last image. Now, all we had to do was walk out, minding our heads on the low rocks, before reaching a feature called the Democracy Steps, apparently designed around the Fibonacci sequence, which didn't work for me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed travelling along with us today, a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. Until next time.